Martin, there's a function in Chrome about tab groups. Can you share with me how that works?
Yes, Melanie, this is actually something that I stumbled, well, one day I opened Chrome and it says new feature and I clicked on it and I read up a little bit about it and I really liked it. So this is something that I use all the time. Now, the challenge that a lot of people have, and I'm one of those people, is that, I need to work with a lot of open tabs every single day. And your web browser, when you open too many tabs, your browser becomes very cluttered. You can't really see anything anymore. It's not a very conducive for productivity. So what they've basically done is this ability to take a lot of tabs, group them together and collapse them. So for example, let's say you take email, for example. Now I've opened Chrome in incognito mode, so I'm not showing you any sensitive information. So I'm not logged into anything. So let's say, for example, you use your email for all the time, so you can go to Gmail. I'm not going to log in now, but you could log in, so you always have your email available. And then you can go on a separate tab, and let's say you can go to Google Calendar, for example. So if I go to Google Calendar, I'm not going to log in, but there's your calendar. Now, if I want to take this tab and actually make it part of the email, all I do is I actually just drag it into that thing. You can see the color changes to the same color as the tab. It becomes light blue.
Yes.
So all these things are now grouped together, and I can collapse them or I can expand them. And you can create new ones. So let's say you've got like a client and the client is client A, for example. So I can open anything that's relevant for him. It can be any random page. So what I do is for my clients is I've got certain documents that I use for each client. For example, a roadmap document, a changes document, a to-do document, and then just a document we've got a shared drive that we create for every client as well. It's got all the information for their specific project group together. So I'll put the shared drive, the roadmap, the to-do list, everything, I'll group that together. So if you want to create a new tab group, all you do is basically just say add to new tab group and say new group. And now you can give it like client ABC, so you can call it ABC, and you can even assign to it whatever color you like. So you can put a lot of text in there. You can just have a single letter, whatever you prefer. And now you can, so there's the one, and you can move it around. So that's basically tab groups.
So Martin, I've got an interesting question for you. Does this make your computer slower in any way?
Not at all. This is just, you're still using, I'm guessing that you are referring to all the multiple web pages that I've opened. So yes. The more pages you have open, the more your memory usage will be. But I'm quite spoiled with the amount of memory I've got in this machine. But it's whether you put them in, whether you have 20 pages open and you have them in tab groups, or whether you have 20 web pages open and you don't have them in tab groups, there's no performance penalty. So whatever amount of tabs that your browser is comfortable opening with the amount of memory you have in the machine, that should be fine.
Well, this is a fantastic feature, Martin. I will definitely use it in my business.
Sure, and just something that I also want to mention is that once you set up all these groups and you're happy with them, and you want to open your web browser, every time you open your web browser, you want them to appear there. What you can actually do is you can go under settings and just say that on startup, continue where you left off. So every time you open your web browser, you will have all your 20 tabs open. You don't have to go open everyone individually. Just something to note is that if I were to open, for example, a new web browser, and I would close, let's say, for example, I open a new browser and I only have one tab open, I must just be careful that I don't close this one last, because it'll open where I was when I left off. So you must always be careful. If you open a second web browser and you just open a single page, just close that one first, and the one with all the pages you must close last. So that's something I learned the hard way.
That's a very important point. Yes. Thank you, Martin.
Pleasure.